All right, so I'm going to break down this time that I fired a seller. So I had to fire a seller recently, and I was 100% okay doing it. The seller had unrealistic expectations. The seller was kind of condescending, a little bit rude, a little bit unrealistic, and just overall not somebody I wanted to deal with anymore. And in my contract, in my listing agreement, it says this agreement can be canceled at any time without penalty by either party. And I explained that on my listing appointment. This agreement can be canceled at any time with no penalty by either party. And usually the seller's like, what do you mean by either party? And I say, well, I'm a party too. So if you get, and I say this just like this, if you're nice today and crazy tomorrow, I might terminate our relationship because I don't want to work with people that are mean to me, crazy to me, unrealistic, or any of the above. And likewise, if I turn crazy tomorrow or if I fail to meet your expectations, I want you to be able to terminate too. And that could be day 7 on the market. Like, I don't care. If I am failing to meet your expectations, please let me go. And so I exercised that right recently, and I'm very happy about it. The problem was it had been really windy, and we had a sign out in the front yard, and the sign was getting destroyed, but they were claiming that it was the wind, and it was like statistically what is it called? Aerodynamically? Impossible for a metal sign to be yanked out of the center and vanish twice. So when it happened the second time, I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna put another sign out there. They're $200 and something's going on because I don't think it's wind. And they were insistent that the signage or the lack of signage was the reason why their home didn't sell. And I was like, it just isn't it, and it's just not it. And so over the course of the time that I had the listing, that I could tell they were unhappy, we were unhappy. So I basically just said, in a nutshell, listen, I know you're not happy. I'm actually not happy either. And in an effort for you to get the kind of service that you want, I'm going to release you from my listing agreement effective immediately. Like, you are withdrawn, you are released, you are ready, willing, and able to hire another agency who can best serve your needs, because we are not going to continue to put a sign out there that's going to get damaged. Also, when I met with you, I told you that the price that we were going to list it for potentially would be overpriced, and you were okay with it. And we had an agreement that we would be on the market for a couple of weeks at that price, and then we would quickly correct the price to whatever, our suggestion was. And that was months ago. And every time I asked you to reduce it, you're like, nope, the sign is the reason why it isn't selling. Nope, it's just we. So then they made a makeshift sign. Like, actually a for sale sign with bricks and sticks and whatever, and they put it in their front yard because I refused to put a sign out there. And wouldn't you know it, that's a pretty flimsy sign. It was just being held up by bricks. Never fell over. It never fell over. It never got destroyed, and it never disappeared. So I was like, and so then we were just like, my sign was too flimsy. That was the reason, whatever. Listen, I want everybody to be happy. So I'm not always everybody's cup of tea. I'm totally fine with that. You cannot do as much business annually as I do and not and make everybody happy. And so it felt really good. My admin crew was like, whew, because it was like every time we saw, it got to the point where like every time we saw a message, we're like, ugh, we were cringing. And then I was thinking, like, maybe they're cringing too. Like, that's what I've learned. If I'm cringing, they're cringing, right? So when the relationship's no longer fun, I just don't want to, and some people don't. Like, I'm currently in a situation right now where a seller wants to use me and the listing agent refuses to let her out of the contract. And she reached out to me independently. Don't worry, I didn't go behind anybody's sign. She reached out to me and she was like, hey, I would really like, to talk to you about potentially listing our house. And the listing agent will not let her out of the contract. And it expires whenever it expires. And then potentially, and I'm curious if this is true, and I hope that it works out, but potentially, good old mercy showing showed up. Good old mercy showing. Like, I know I'm going to lose the listing, so I'm going to have a mercy showing. And then, wouldn't you know it, there's a potential offer coming in. And I'm like, this is just... Anyway, I've done a post on mercy showings and mercy offers before. It's so tacky to do that, to get the seller's mindset all wrapped up on, oh, maybe there's going to be an offer coming when the listing's going to expire in less than 30. please. Anyway, so that's what's going on today.